Hi everyone, it's me, Idris. You guys know one thing, and that when you hear my voice, that means we got some sexy Patriots for you. Let's start with our news. Up first, we got Makira Gale. Makira, you listen to the podcast and you said to yourself, I need to be a part of this. So you went on the Patreon, you joined up, and now we thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being on Patreon. Thank you, and welcome to Be the Patriot. Up next, we have Courtney. Now, I hope I don't completely butcher your name here, because I know I'm going to butcher it a little bit. Zorostowski. Zorostowski. I hope that's how I say it, Courtney. Either way, you're a patriot. That's all that matters. Your last name, your first name, surname's first, and who cares? You're a patriot now. You're a part of a brotherhood that loves each other. Boy, that almost went off the rails. Courtney, thank you for being a patriot. Enjoy Patreon. Now let's run over to some returning Patriots. Here we have Dana H. You know, Dana, you know what it is. You left, but you came back because you just couldn't get enough, and we can't get enough of you either. Thank you for being a Patriot. And last but not least, we have something a little different that we don't get all the time. So we got a donation from Ian Fagley. Now, Ian decided, you know what? Maybe I can't just be on Patreon all the time. Maybe I just want to help out because, I just want to drop the 20 on the boys. I just want to drop the 20 on the boys. And you know what? We appreciate that. We love that. We hope more of you would do that. Guys, be like Ian. Drop that 20. And also still sign up on Patreon, because that is where you get all this great content. We love you guys, and we hope that you're enjoying the show. And we're going to continue making content for you. All right. Peace.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy, Eddie Collins.
Guys, and this is Justin Brown.
And we are Medium Popcorn. But you already knew that because you heard us singing, ad-libbing, riffing, drums beating, sweat pouring. You know. And that's just us on the theme song. That's not even us talking about the movie Heat, which brings all the heat. Michael Mann, 1995. This is the whitest movie ever, but this
Mr.
fucking...
Man.
Bro, this movie's almost 3 hours, and outside of the whole, like, you know what's wild is, like, I used to hate the whole stuff with Natalie Portman and, like, you know, Al Pacino and his, like, third wife and all that stuff, and then actually sitting with it, I'm like, yo, Michael Mann is really good at letting these actors and, like, you know, the audience sit with these characters.
Yeah.
Like, by the end of this movie, I feel like I knew all the characters, whether they lived, died, had, like, a small bit. Like, even Hank Azaria's character, you get exactly who he is, and he's only in a handful of scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, this is some really good writing. And, you know, the bank robbery scene alone is classic because it's emulated so many fucking crime thrillers. Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan blatantly, like, he's very vocal about how he took inspiration from this. GTA 5, right? That last heist is basically this movie, except you don't die. Which, man, you know what's crazy is Robert De Niro's character's been getting away like no one knows who the fuck he is, right? For years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he finally gets caught because fucking Waingro. This one dude just brought all the bad juju to the crew.
Well, he was the live wire.
Yeah.
He was a live wire. He killed people when they weren't going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And which, again, then brings more heat onto the crew. So it's just like, that guy was a problem. Like, when first of all, it was wild that he, like, attacked him, like, right out in the street and was about to kill him right there. And then, you know, the only reason he didn't do it because the police were making that Yui. Yeah. It was just like, bro, you didn't have a silencer. You're just going to shoot him right there in the middle of the street.
I mean, his character, like, that's what I love about the way that Robert De Niro played, Macaulay, is that he is so tightly wound and so meticulous. If you deviate from the plan or you do some stupid shit, he does not suffer fools. And so, like, that was immediate, like, right? And I love that the team clearly was on the same page about, like, we know what happens to people that fuck around like this. Because what did Danny Trejo? Danny Trejo got up and said, I need to go to the bathroom. And then Wayne goes over here eating fucking pie, not knowing that he about to get rot. Robert De Niro fucking bangs him on the window, on the table and shit. I love that scene when the one dude looks up with the mullet, with the glasses and shit. And Tom Sizemore. Yo, Tom Sizemore is
shut the fuck up.
He was out of his mind, but he was on a run. He did like this, Save It Private Ryan. What else was he fucking in? He wasn't Armageddon. He was in something else big too.
Kill Bill.
No, that's Michael Madsen.
No. Yeah, that wasn't him.
But I remember, Natural Born Killers, True Romance.
Yep.
Yeah, man, he was on a fucking run. Black Hawk Down. Oh, he was in Pearl Harbor. That's what it was. The Michael Bay movie.
Wyatt Earp. Yeah, he was in a bunch of. He was going crazy.
He was going crazy. I mean, this movie. You know, it's wild because like they could make movies like this again, like that, but it's just a very specific time, man.
Bro, he was in a banger for a fucking year, every single year.
Yeah.
So, like hold on. He started what I'm trying to just like see what's the first one. It like jumps off the page. 91, Point Break. 92, Passenger 57. 93, True Romance. 94, Natural Born Killers. 95, Heat. 97, The Relic. Then 98, Saving Private Ryan. Enemy of the State. 99. That's, it wasn't whatever. He was on a hell of a fucking run.
And out of that list, dude, he's in the top war movie of all time. I think it's still rated Saving Private Ryan. This is definitely one of the top crime thrillers of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a hell of a run, man. And then we haven't even talked about Val Kilmer yet. You know, who's his hair, man, is such a giveaway. I'm surprised that Macaulay didn't make him cut that hair. You know what I mean? It's so specific.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's got the scar on his face, right? Like, you know, that was one. I thought they were gonna, like, when I first saw this movie, like when I was younger, I always thought they were gonna get him first, and not because remember the reason why they get Tom Sizemore's character because he calls one of them Slick. He calls Wayne Gross Slick, and so there's a witness that hears that, right, or something like that. The old lady, and so they're able to kind of find him pretty quickly. But I'm like, Val Kilmer over here buying explosives and shit, like in different states, like.
Yeah, well, I think is also the fact is like Val Kilmer like having the thing with his wife, like typically like that's and not to sound like
shout out to Ashley Judd,
like a woman will bring you down, especially if you're doing some wild shit like this, fucking around with the wrong, having the wrong partner could be like the thing that destroys everything, and like. Technically, he was a part of it because his messy personal life started to bleed in.
Yeah, because she was, because she wasn't happy. She was having an affair with Hank Azaria's character, who was like this banker or some dude. And he was doing some shady shit. I forgot this back in the 90s where you could go to jail for smuggling cigarettes, which is hilarious to me. Because that's what they said they got him on New Jersey. He was smuggling cigarettes across state lines or something.
From North Carolina because they're like, $8 cheaper. That's so still weird. To this day.
That's so wild. That's like a hustle, a crime kind of thing.
Well,
or
no,
it used to
well, it's still a thing because like you don't sell them to people, you sell them to bodegas.
Yeah, but everybody gotta get some.
But like if a bodega's buying them for what a pack, I forget how because I used to work at a grocery store. Like a pack was like like $50-$60 at that time, depending on which one you got. And then all of a sudden you could come up there and you could sell it for fucking 20. You know what I'm saying? You bought them in you bought them in North Carolina for 20, but you could sell them for 40 and still undercut that fucking $14-$15 or whatever. Yeah. Like bro, like you can make good money.
Okay, fair
like
enough.
You still can't do that shit today. Because cigarettes are crazy expensive up here compared to down in the South.
Got it. Wow, man. Wow. You know, it's wild when I saw this
Start
movie.
smuggling cigarettes.
I got Kevin Gage and Ted Levine mixed up because at first when I saw Waingro, I'm like, oh, Buffalo Bill. And then Buffalo Bill was actually the cop. And it's ironic because Ted Levine actually was offered the role of Waingro initially, and he turned it down because he didn't want to be typecast. He's like, it's very similar to, previous crazy ass roles I played. So he actually wanted to play a cop who gets killed during that shootout. I mean, dude, that's why, like, I think what I love most about that bank robbery is because you spend so much time with these characters, you forget that they're bad people. Like, they obviously are doing a bad thing. They're pulling off a crime and shit and hurting other people. But, like, when Tom Sizemore grabs a little girl, and remember the whole thing was, like, he's got a family, he's got a lot to lose, like, maybe sit this one out, and he grabs that little girl as a shield, I was like, yo, this is a real movie, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no redeeming quality. Everyone's showing their ass when the heat's on.
You know what? For me, it was also how when Al Pacino and Robert De Niro sit down, they have coffee, and Robert De Niro's just like, yeah, like, this is what I do, and I'm not going to stop doing it, and you're not going to stop me. And he's basically just confesses, like, I do these things. It's just like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, I'm way too good to get caught by you. And it's like, and if you keep on fucking around, you get your ass killed. You get your ass killed. Like that was I was just like, God damn. I didn't remember that scene because I hadn't seen this in such a long time.
You didn't remember that scene? One of the best scenes ever, man? I mean,
no, but that's the thing. Like, I haven't seen this in a long. Like, this came out in 1995. I saw this when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. I watch this once a year, but that's just come a movie nerd and shit like that. Yeah. But
no, you're just a nerd.
Thanks, Justin. Long time friend, right? You say you like me. But like that scene is so iconic because it's so, you have the two of some of the best actors of all time in a scene together finally, right? Because they've never in scenes together because the Godfather series or any previous movies, and then it's such a powerful, great, wonderfully acted scene that there's this conspiracy that they weren't even in the same room together. You know what I mean? That's how good it is. Like, yeah, there was this whole theory that they like were in the same room and shit. But it's like, that's such a great scene with the dialogue and like how they're talking about like their dreams and like their careers and like how devoted they are to this. He's like, I'm on my third. I'm on a downward slope of my third marriage because I'm always chasing guys like you. And then it's like they're revealing to each other like, hey, this is all we got, and we might have to take each other out, basically, right?
It's like, you're not going to destroy my world. I'm not going to.
I do love what Al Pacino, what does Macaulay say? He says, that's about, because he was talking about the bodies and stuff that he sees, that, Hannah, Al Pacino's character, sees in his dreams. And then, Macaulay says something slightly profound. And then Hannah's like, what are you, a monk? He's like, I have a woman. It's like, I just love this scene. But yeah, it's not going to end well for anyone. Because I had a question for you. When I saw that last scene, I never actually like lingered on the fact that like they hold each other's hand when Macaulay's bleeding out after the final shootout. Do you think Hannah retires? Because remember, they kind of talk about how he like took down like a lot of different scores, some amateur, some really big. And it sounded like he kind of took out Macaulay's mentor, right? He was like, he was like, was he as bad as everyone said he was?
I think, no.
That he didn't retire after this?
I don't think that guy's going to know what to do when he does retire. You know what I'm saying? This is just who he is. I mean, until he can't physically do it anymore, he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, who he is and what he is. I just don't see, because like, like my mom watches like Discovery ID every fucking day, right? And there's this old detective that has a show, and it's just like, he's like this old grizzled fucking cop, and he's just telling, stories of like, this case I was doing this and yada yada yada, and like, I see him as that guy from that show. It's just like, he's like forced to retire because it's just like he just can't, physically, or maybe he's slowing down a bit. but then he's just a wealth of knowledge where he'll always be available to do
like he'll
some
always
sort
be
of
around to
police
help
report.
tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, yeah, that's the kind of guy we're talking about. Because like he's the only one that realized it's like, oh yeah, they made us, when they're scoping out that place, and he's just
Let me
like,
tell you, is this guy something or is he something?
these guys are good.
Yeah, and then also, they do show that Hannah is about that work too, because he's the one that clips Val Kilmer. He gets Val Kilmer real good because he's all fucked up, right? He kills obviously Macaulay at the end, and then he kills Tom Sizemore.
Yeah.
Point blank in the head, boom, and he's carrying a kid. Like Hannah was like, he's like, I ain't playing around with you guys. I mean, he does tell De Niro in that diner scene, it's like, if it comes between you and some poor schmuck that you're gonna make his wife a widow, you going down. Like he's like, no more innocent blood. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he also they've killed a ton of cops
people.
that
They
day.
killed so. I mean, you mean the bank robber? Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
They ain't going to jail. Like that's one of those situations where like you need to get away, otherwise you ain't breathing no more. They're gonna take you out.
You know where you're going.
Yeah.
The docks.
Yeah, they had
You're going
10.
down
They
to
had
the
10
docks.
stars on GTA 5. 10, 10 flashing stars. The whole
Even
fucking
though the helicopter definitely would have been there for this.
yeah.
The helicopter would have for sure been, present for this whole shootout going on downtown. They
Maybe-
wouldn't have got it away.
Well, remember they had such a short window because between what's his name, the business dude that they robbed at the beginning, between his bodyguard, whoever the fuck that guy was, calling it in, I think get the information from Trejo, to Pacino and them getting there. I think they just called all reinforcements that were available, but then they knew that they were heavily armed. So I think unless you have a helicopter, that's the central area too, right? Isn't that downtown LA?
Yeah.
That's that's hard to have a helicopter that's just raining fire from above,
Well, no. The helicopter's not there to shoot down at them. The
Well, they'll be there for
helicopter's they're there to track them. So if they jump in the car and start driving away, they can tell them exactly where they went. That's all the helicopter does.
Oh, okay.
They're just tracking them and basically giving them updates. So if somebody's they hold up somewhere and they're setting up a fucking turret gun, the helicopter will be like, "Yo, stay away, create a barrier. You need distance."
Fair enough. Yeah, man. This movie is great. It's a tad over long. It is almost 3 hours. But
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy it, man. Like, cause you get to know all the characters. And so when shit goes bad, sideways for everybody, I mean, even Dennis Haysbert's character gets a very like heartbreaking story. It's the dude's like coming out of jail. His partner supports him. He's trying to start over. He's getting this shitty job being a cook at a diner. And then the dude immediately is like, you're doing all the grunt work and I'm taking 25% of your wages.
You check. Yeah. He's
That's like
just the
intro.
deal.
That's intro.
Yeah.
Not even, hey, how you doing?
And the guy's just fucking with them all the time. Yeah. See, I wouldn't survive in that either. But this is why I never went to prison.
Yeah, but that's also not fair. I mean, it shouldn't have to just be that you committed some crimes and you paid your penance and you have to start over. Like no one should be going through that. And I know that happens all the time because I've seen a lot of documentaries and read a lot of stories and stuff about the abuse of people that come out the justice system, and it's very disheartening.
Yeah, because these guys are just like, oh, you want to go back to prison, or you want to just work and deal with fucking my bullshit? Which do you want to do?
Oh, that's right. He
got
did
him by
threaten
the
him.
balls.
Yeah, he did threaten him,
Yeah.
right? He was like, if you give me any pushback or anything, like just call your parole officer, say that you're high or drunk or something like that.
Yep. And you're right back. It's like he's between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. And that's what sucks about like when he, I mean, De Niro goes up to him and is like, are you in and out? In or out? I need to know right now. And he's just like, long look. Fuck yeah, I'm in. I was just like,
Yeah. He throws that motherfucker down on his way out.
yeah,
Fuck that shit. Bro, like, I mean, like, I've never been to prison, but I've dealt with people, who are like that, like that guy, and just really just wants to just flex his muscles on you. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here before I throw this guy through a fucking wall. But I could imagine being in that position. I just came out of prison and I'm legitimately trying to change my life. But actually, you know what? Even outside, just coming out of prison, everybody who gets a job, who gets a normal fucking everyday job, is just trying to do better and change their life for the better. That's why they're working there. And then you go someplace to make money to fund your life, to feed your family, and then someone's fucking with you, bro. Those are the kinds of people that deserve to get punched in the face. I'm not advocating and telling people to go punch people in the face, but if you punch a nigga in the face, I totally understand when they're treating you like that. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible abuse, and there's also like, and that's for folks that have the ability to do work like that, and there's some people that are disabled or, are veterans. They really struggle with mental health illness and stuff that makes it hard for them to keep a job. I mean, like, so the thing about this, like, real quick, is if this is how, and we know that this is how, unfortunately, folks that were in the criminal justice system are treated sometimes, and the things they have to navigate post prison incarceration, right? But think about how we treat our vets. You know what I mean? Like the veteran affairs, like taking away funding. It's just insane, man. So, yeah, I mean, I can see like, hey, I'm going to roll the dice, rob this bank. And they almost got away with it.
Yeah.
They just didn't anticipate that somehow this banker dude that was pissed off because they stole his bonds, which he was going to make the money back anyway. It's just the principle of like, hey, they can't fuck with me. You hire Waingro, which again, Dark Knight influences, is basically like, hey, we're so desperate to catch Macaulay, we're going to hire this crazy motherfucker out here who's fucking raping women in the night and killing them and stuffing them in fucking bins and lighting their corpses on fire.
No, he's not raping them. He uses their, he gets their service, and then he beats him to death.
Got it. Okay.
He's literally just a serial killer.
Because
he's not serial rape. He's a serial killer.
Okay, because I thought that they were hinting that he was a rapist because of remember that quick the way that they shot when De Niro goes into Trejo's house when he doesn't know that they've been beaten to death or whatever, and we see the shot of the wife. I thought the way they showed like her, I think it was a gown or something like that, like it hinted that there might have been assault there before she was murdered.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
why I was like
I thought about that as well, or it's just the fact is he just beat her. I mean, he just beat her to death. But I mean, it's just, I mean, well, he definitely did that. But like, yeah, no, that guy, he was just a serial murderer. He was a serial killer, and it's like that's why he shot the he just executed that police officer. Like that guy is like, they chose the wrong person to be on their team. They never would have got caught if it wasn't for him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they wouldn't have the heat that they got. Yeah. The moment you kill a cop, it's done. They're everyone
like a cop or
is
security
in
guard
it for
though?
you. No, there were police officers there too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because there was 3 guys in there, and one was for sure a police officer.
Okay, got it. Yeah, man, that was wild. That's what happens when you bring in new blood to the crew, and you don't heavily vet them. That fucking, you got John Boyd over here recruiting niggas and not sourcing them right. I mean, not for nothing, man. John Boyd completely insane, full MAGA, like out of his mind, right? Like his daughter don't talk to him, all this shit. But goddamn, and Michael Mann did give him some great lines in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
he had some awesome lines with Macaulay in this movie. He's like, the way they just talked about deals and like, even to like when he's kind of like telling him like, hey, like reconsider what you're doing. Do you have the time? Like he's like kind of telling him like, don't go after Waingro. It's not worth it. Like he's trying, because at the end of the day, Waingro, yes, he's the catalyst for all this shit. But because he was so stuck on vengeance against this dude, he didn't see that Waingro had inadvertently fucked up everything. Because Waingro was the one that was able to get the info out of Trejo, that gave up the robbery, that then and then that Waingro was in cahoots with William Fitcher's character Van Sant or whatever. It's like, hey, you think maybe the cops might have been like able to put 2 and 2 together at this point?
Yeah, like they know, like he is gonna be your downfall. But I can understand because it's like people are dead because of this guy, and like he calls all this. Yeah. He's probably also is like, I should have killed him when I had the chance.
Yeah,
it's like the mistake is letting this guy get away, and he needs to remedy that mistake.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't. Even when the cop car came by, like he should have. I don't know, because gunshots are loud. So you're right. He should have had silencer or something probably, but
Yeah.
that's they suffered the consequences of not taking him out when they could have. We got to talk about the legendary Al Pacino performance in this movie because
What do you mean, Brandon?
so before I used to think like that was like he's insane. He is categorically insane in this movie, but if you pay attention to Hannah's dialogue, especially when he talks to his wife, played by what's her name, Diana Venora, who beautiful actress. She had like a very
but she had the weirdest haircut in the world.
I was digging
she
it.
Had
Man.
the hair.
That's the 95s. Remember? Sorry.
What?
In the 90s, didn't the women do the short cuts like that? Like that was the whole thing with Demi Moore had a cut like that kind of.
Nigga, she looked like the villain from Shrek. She looked nuts.
She
looked fucking nuts.
She looked great.
It wasn't like the little bob thing. She literally had a fucking 1652 cut from that nigga from Shrek. She looked crazy.
Whatever, man. I thought she looked beautiful. Anyways,
no, she was an attractive woman outside of that haircut. That haircut was death defying. They should have whoever did her hair for this film. They should have been beaten by Wayne Grove. Like what was going on with that mop on the top of her head?
That's terrible.
That's how I feel. That's just how I feel, Brandon.
Oh man, such an angry man. Al Pacino also a very angry man. But the thing is, if you listen to his dialogue, he's so haunted by all the things he's seen people do that it's made him crazy. Like his character kind of fit the manic energy that Al Pacino himself brought to the role. You know, like when he's interrogating Tone Loke's net cousin or whoever the fuck, he's like, "Don't waste my motherfucking time." Like you just. Like, oh yeah, he's lost his goddamn mind. He works in L.A., which is already a crazy city, and he just sees crime all day.
Imagine this guy, and then on top of that, he sees such a big ol' ass. She's got a great ass. I mean, when I see a good ass, it just does something to me. All right.
Like that was such a wild fucking scene because it's not only what he's saying; it's his eyes.
Yes. The only issue for that scene though is clearly that was such a great take that they kept it because Hank Azaria is like jaw dropping. That's a legit reaction. Like he improvised that thing. But it's clear he went to say she's got a great ass. Like he was going to say butt, and then he said ass instead. Like you can see him forming to say a B, and then he corrects it and does ass instead. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it also could be, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
but
just something I
ass
noticed.
actually fit.
Yes,
yeah, his ass
it
fits
does.
better.
Ass always fits better, baby. Mm-hmm. Especially in them jeans, genuine in those jeans.
Any more room? I mean,
Did you see the video?
That song was written by, right?
Ooh. R. Kelly?
R. Kelly.
Oh, no.
He gave that to Genuine.
Of course he
did. It was
did.
his first.
Of course.
That's why it was a hit.
Did you see the video of Genuine performing and he tries to jump on that lower platform? Falls back. Something sad to watch an old niggas fall. I just saw a video of Suzuki. She fell off a couch. Old people are not doing well.
We're closing in, man.
Yeah. Val Kilmer, incredibly intense in this movie, completely out of his mind. But again, like, I love that his story was about he's in this toxic relationship. Basically, it sounds like Macaulay hints that he should never have gotten married to Ashley Judd. They should never have had a kid together. He's like, you're too much of a mess. And he clearly has crazy gambling debts to the point where whatever percentage he was going to make of the $12 million that they were going to have at that bank, it was just going to make him whole again. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is just extra shit for me to go somewhere. I think like he's so indebted that he's like, I need this to just get out the hole.
Also with that initial score from the beginning, he gave her $8,000 because he gambled away the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's another reason why she was just like fucking over it, because she had to have a contingency plan. I don't blame her. You have a husband who's doing high risk robberies, like where people are being murdered by your husband, and he's only bringing home 8 G's. And it takes like a lot of reconnaissance It takes like getting materials. Like I'm sure that job took at least a month, if not more, to plan.
Oh,
Because you have to learn, you have to learn routes and shit like that. Like the second one, the big bank heist, that dude from who's able to pull the information from the satellite, he's the one who's like kind of setting up all the tech and everything. So he scoped out the plan. They just have to verify his information and get the the fuse thing in the tech box so it can freeze out the cameras during the robbery. But yeah, man, like he had to travel to Arizona to get some of the equipment. They had to, Robert De Niro had to scope out when to get that fucking van, the EMT van. All these things take time. You don't just do this in like 7 days. Yeah. This isn't a Tyler Perry movie. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, it is.
But like, imagine you're not making any money really during that time.
Yeah.
So, and you're probably actually expensing. You probably have a lot of expenses, right? Because you got to pay for the gas, you got to pay for the equipment.
You're putting a shot like wasn't the $8,000 just a portion of it because they were going to get the rest of the payment later? No, but that's
off of the debt he already paid back though, right? He said he owed money for Super Bowl and some other shit.
Yeah. So, but also, what they're gonna get? They sell it back to the guy for insurance money, and then they buy back the initial shares, which is like 60% of it. So then they get like another $320,000 or some shit like that out of it. So like there is still more money to come.
Lluvia asked in the chat, Lluvia, our producer, she said, Brandon, did you eat at the diner when you were in LA? I did not, because I found that most of the landmarks from like shows and movies is if you actually go to them, especially if they're restaurants, it's terrible. Like I went to that Casa Vega in LA. That's a big part of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like apparently it's like one of Tarantino's favorite restaurants. It's this Mexican restaurant. Besides the drinks, the food was not worth the price. We're talking like $40 enchiladas and shit. It was weird. Yeah.
Hell out of here.
Then Lluvia also asked, she had a question about Waingro. He had a Nazi tattoo. I'm wondering about the lady of the night he paid for her services. Did not freak out while she was sleeping with him. I mean,
she's there to perform a service. She's trying to get a check.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so unfortunately,
And there's some clients that maybe are into that shit too. That are race role play. I mean, not to go too deep into it, but we're hearing about the Shannon Sharp shit and the, role playing. This, I don't know.
I mean, you get canceled for role playing now. Look at that.
Well, I mean, he was doing more than that. He was doing some because they had the tapes and stuff. It's getting,
but weird. I mean, the whole choking thing, like people have that's a kink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying more because apparently there's more stuff that's going to come out. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily know what's going on.
But race role play is a thing.
Full story, huh?
Race role play is a thing, though. Yeah, man, this weird. This movie had so many different characters, man, and it kind of still worked.
Yeah.
There was there's even parts where like black men were able to kind of like be like, "Yo, shut the fuck up!" Like whether it was Dennis Haysbert eventually like pushing his boss at the diner, or McKelty as the cop stepping to Hank Azaria who kept calling Ashley Judd a bitch. He's like, "Man, if you don't get in that kitchen and make her a drink, she's had a rough day." But then he regrets that probably because she fucking tips off Val Kilmer's crazy ass when he comes with that
he doesn't
new.
know.
What do you mean?
He doesn't know that she's the one who she tipped him off.
I mean, he has an idea because he's pulling up, he gets out the car, looks over at her.
But he can't see
her, but he knows. He knows that.
No, he can't see him at all. He can't because if with the
van. Oh yeah, that's right. She said he never came. Yeah.
No, it's like that wasn't him.
Yeah,
that wasn't him. The guy got a car, but it wasn't him. Yeah. So then that's where he's like pull him over. And then, but he, I guess, had a fake ID or whatever. And it's just like,
which is crazy. Because at this point, aren't they all over the news?
What's that?
Aren't their faces all over the news at this point? Like, yeah, he changed his hair, but he don't look that different.
Not true.
I mean, but the hair is very specific. I mean, like,
yeah, true.
But also he was like, he got fucked up. Like, he got shot in the arm, right?
I don't know.
Well, like the chest. He got shot in the chest because Jeremy Piven is picking from, which I was like, Jeremy Piven pops up as a doctor with a receding hairline. And this is way before Entourage. So I'm like, so Jeremy Piven had hair plugs this whole time? Or was this like a costume choice?
He went to Greece, baby.
Is that where they do it? The hair
Yeah,
transplants?
they have those plugs that they put in. They're supposed to be really good.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you know about that?
Well, I mean, I've heard about the process. Like Dan Soder and Mateo Lane, they were on a podcast together. They talked about getting the hair plugs together, like not together, like at the same time, but they each got them. It sounds like pretty, like surprisingly painful. They say like the recovery is pretty rough.
Sewing shit into your head. It seems. It sounds like I don't know. Like that's not what I want to do. I'll rock this bitch right here. You see?
Did you ever consider tattooing a hairline?
No, that's first of all, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, some people
That's
do it.
absolutely weird. And like black dudes who go out and tattoo your hairline or get that fucking that Chicago lineup, aka paint. Like, yo, you need to start rethinking what's going on in your life. Let it go. But I'm also kind of the old school thing. Is just like I'll never judge somebody for losing their hair because it's a part of life.
Yeah.
Right. But when you're doing, as a man, when you're doing certain things, I kind of look at you a little bit funny. And like, that's one of them. I was like, nigga, you went and got fucking a tattoo to try to like, come on, bro.
I mean,
but that's just me personally. I mean, it's not a big deal.
As long as you acknowledge that, I think, like what I've been doing lately is like kind of reminding myself that you don't know what people have gone through. You know what I mean? Like, well, like to make someone think that that's like, their reasonable response to like hair loss, you know what I mean, or like a deficiency, so to speak, with their appearance or something like that. I don't, because I see all these women like on these. Tati's been watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I even think about women I have met who I'm like, they got cosmetic surgery and stuff like that. And I'm like,
start to look nuts.
Yeah, but I'm like, you have your but the thing is, I don't know what goes on in your head. They could have body dysmorphia. They could have been raised by someone who was like very a heavy proponent of plastic surgery, like all these different things. And for me, I think that's allowed me to kind of take a step back, like be like, all right, I had this thought or this feeling, but isn't impacting my life in any way?
Exactly.
No? All right, move on.
And that's what I'm saying. It was like that's like that's just kind of how I feel about it. It's like somebody wants to do it, like it's whatever. But it's just like it doesn't mean like I demean that person. It's just like I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny. I had an interesting conversation with an actor today on set, and like he had a voice issue. Right. And he elected to get a surgery for it. And he basically, it changed his voice. He couldn't talk for 3 weeks and whatnot. And like, listen and tell the story. And then like, I kind of chimed in because I was kind of overhearing it. We were all sitting, there's like 3 of us sitting in a room. And I just asked him some questions, about it. Cause I've damaged my voice years ago. And like, listening to the thing, I was like, the things that you're saying that you went through is the reason why I never did that. And it's just like, and it's because like that's a thing that changes how you sound or how you think you sound changes your identity. And like I'm not in the space where I don't know how I would handle going through that. And it's just like, I said, more power to you for actually doing that, because that has to be hard. It's like a mind fuck. And then him going further, expounding further, and like his voice started to crack. And I'm just like, and it's like, exactly what you're saying. And that's why I held off. And I didn't realize it until after I had it done. And then my voice started coming back, but it's different now. And it's like, but that's like the things that people never see, and hair could be the voice. Like my voice for me could be somebody else's hair. So it's like, that's why I'm just like, it's not for me, but I understand, like, it is what it is. But like, yeah, it's a weird thing though.
Yeah, for sure. I had a question about, like, that's kind of related to what you just talked about and what we're talking about, which is like the idea of free will. You know what I mean? Like Macaulay always talks about, I was gonna call him McNulty. He's always like, that quote about like, my mentor said, like, if you can't, don't get attached to anything that you can't leave in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
See the heat. Yeah.
Right. And so when he knows that they've been made by Al Pacino's team, right? And they know that there's like high risk to pulling off this heist, right? He asks each of them, he's like, hey, if you want out now, say you want out. and it's okay. No hard feelings. But like, you know, I would say if you're not in, you need to split town. You need to get the fuck out of Dodge, right?
Yeah.
And he goes to Tom Sizemore, and remember, he's like, you know, Tom Sizemore's like, do you really
live for this shit?
Well, no, before that though, remember he leans in and he's like, do you really think this is the right thing to do? And then Macaulay says, you know, you got some money put away, you got the wife, you got the kids. If I were you, I would walk away from this one. But he says it in a way where I'm like, I want to know what you thought. Do you think that Macaulay was being genuine, or do you think that he knew how to like manipulate Tom Sizemore and him being like, you have a backup plan. Like, don't worry. Like, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be good. You don't need to do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that he was intentionally trying to get him to back out, or do you think that he was manipulating him to like say like, "Fuck it, I'm in." Like, ride or die, baby.
I think that he gave a fuck about his crew. Because,
I did too, but I just thought that maybe he had changed because he got to know the bookstore worker. You know,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he gave a shit about his crew, and like he didn't want them. You know, I think he was kind of being sincere in that scene because like he actually cares about them because he's done a bunch of jobs with them. Like, you know, he's over at fucking Val Kilmer's place and picking up the pieces when he's fighting his wife, and then goes to her and just like, you're gonna fucking take him back and such and such. Like, so like he's their big brother. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that he was looking out for them, whether it worked or not. But you know, it is what it is.
Got it. I was just curious
because he was even broken up about like what's a Nationwide dude or
Dennis?
What's this guy?
Dennis Haver, man. Come on.
Yeah. So like he was upset. He's just like, and he's dead because of you, and da 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 da. It's just like, yeah. So like, I think he's a person that actually does care.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just curious for your thoughts on that because I was like that could have been read two different ways, that scene. But everyone plays it so well that there could be multiple layers like behind. Like that's what like when you have all these actors at their A game and someone like even Danny Trejo who's like hungry and like, you know, he was initially hired as a consultant for like bank robbery for this film before he got pushed into this role. And so it's like all these people just firing on all cylinders. And like the cinematography is fantastic. Like LA feels like a fucking character in the movie. You know, and like I said, even John Boyd as Nate and the one dude who comes up with the idea, like who has like the printouts and stuff. He's in the wheelchair. He's got the beer, the satellite. And it's just like these very specific characters where you're like, this nigga looks like he would have a lot of time to just like look into the interwebs and find bank information. You know what I mean? Like it's like characters like that I think are reasons why GTA is such a fun game series, right? Because you have these characters that are they feel lived in. So when you meet them, you're like, kind of got to read on who this character already is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then of course you got Pacino and De Niro going against each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's one of the few rivalries that really like stands the test of time in regards to this movie. Like these two conflicting characters, like these great actors going toe to toe. That's when you get great art. When you have a villain or, you know, a villain and the protagonist or anti-hero in this case, right, going at each other. It's just it's great. It's great drama, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, but like you said, like that's what makes this good. That's what makes this so good. Like this is like this kind of movie is the one that we all want to watch.
Yeah. And it's also like it's bittersweet too. Like I think like the movie is very tough, but Michael Mann does that a lot. His movies are very dreary and have a lot to say about the human condition and how we care and look out for one another and stuff. I mean, you know, you had the whole storyline with like Natalie Portman's character, like it's Hannah's stepdaughter, and she's going through depression because her dad, her real like, you know, her biological dad doesn't fuck with her at all. He keeps like letting her down, doesn't show up for the hangouts. And he's trying to balance that while being a homicide detective who like deals with the heavy shit. Like they call him what'd I say?
You said homicide.
God damn, man. You know what it is? The past few days, I've been waking up at 4 a.m. and I haven't been
What, are you
taking
shooting something?
Oh yeah. I haven't been using my CPAP machine, so I've just been like fried. No, so yesterday I shot something for WNBA. Today I'm subbing, so I've just like been, I'm just, I don't do cocaine, so I gotta go for life's natural herb, which is water. So,
bro, I mean, like, yeah, I shot something in Pennsylvania today, but I didn't realize it was deep in Pennsylvania. So I drove 4 hours yesterday morning
through the fucking
to
hills.
Get there by noon to shoot until about like 6:30. Well, it's about closer to 7. Sleep it off. Whatever. The shoot started at 9 a.m. Got off at we got off later than expected, so I got out around like 1:30 to drive all the way home, and I just got home at literally 5:55.
Yeah.
I walked in the door, came downstairs, and started podcasting, and like it was just like, I was just like, what the fuck, bro?
And folks, this is why you should sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/medium popcorn. Support the show because we are a Patreon supported show, and it helps us not have to do early ass shoots. That we don't like doing that, though.
Actually,
I love doing
it. No. I would still do it anyways.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's just the fact is, it shows how hard that we actually work.
Yes.
For you guys.
We
to
work
make
so
this
hard.
content, and we actually care.
So hard.
Like, we're not out here just be like, oh, well, I'm tired, and then we miss a fucking episode. We're out here, we're doing the damn thing.
Yeah,
You've seen episodes, Brandon, where I'm almost falling fucking asleep on this bitch because I've been up working and grinding for the last fucking 4 or 5 days in a row. It's just like, yeah.
You only have
I have an infant. Yeah.
Yeah, you only have 19 more years left.
Keep it up, Brandon. Keep it up. Keep it up.
It could have been just 14, but keep shooting them ropes.
That's okay, bro.
I mean, Justin, you know what? All jokes aside, man, I love you. And if you asked me to rob a bank with you because you needed the money, I would strongly consider it. I would need to know the plans.
Shit.
I would need to know you have plans, and I would need to see them. And I would strongly consider it.
It's funny because
It's funny because I'm actually plotting something.
I'm really thinking about robbing a bank.
Did I tell you I asked ChatGPT how to rob a bank because I needed to do some research for this movie I wrote? And it was like, yeah, we cannot tell you that. And it was like, fair enough. Can you forget I asked this question, ChatGPT? And they were like, we will not. It was like, all right.
It is going to the police
I'm on a
department.
list. I'm definitely on a list.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised if you commit any kind of robbery, like how do you not get surveyed by cops all the time? Like if you're a notorious bank robber, right? Aren't you always going to watch this person like from afar, at least checking on them like once a month? Like, isn't there a database?
Well, I mean, this is also based in 1995. It was hard to keep surveillance on people because you could just disappear.
What's wild is that Lluvia, our producer, pointed out in the chat, real life robberies happen because of this movie. This movie inspired so many fucking armed robberies. It's actually based on an epic robbery in Los Angeles, where it's
the
a
one
huge
with,
shootout.
with their full the full bodysuit,
Yeah.
the armor and stuff like that. Yeah,
Fucking-
that was a wild one. That was a real wild one.
Yeah, man, that had to be. Well, Val Kilmer apparently already had military training from when he was a kid, so he knew how to use a gun. But dude, like, imagine having those automatic rifles, right, that are heavy as fuck. They're getting hot because you're just shooting off rounds, and you get this big ass bag. How much do you think those bags weighed with the money in them? Because those are blocks of cash.
I would say about 40 to 50 pounds of cash.
That's it? Huh, okay.
I mean, it's no, actually, because paper gets fucking real. Fucking
Yeah,
heavy.
I was gonna say like it's packed on.
It's probably like because like the box of paper is probably about like maybe like 6 to 10 pounds. So if you put actually no, I'd still say like maybe 80 pounds. I'd say maybe 80 pounds.
Okay, I'm asking
I don't know.
ChatGPT right now.
So, as you asked ChatGPT, I actually I was in an improv
Oh
class
shit.
with Val Kilmer's stepdaughter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she, if for some reason she's listening to this, much condolences to you and your family. Of course, the condolences to the family of Val Kilmer and and all the fans. She was just like, yeah, he has like the Batman cowl and everything, at the house and thing. He was like, he's such a nice guy. I'm just like, that's nuts that like your mom just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely heard, in the 90s, there were definitely stories about him being a little bit challenging and stuff like that. But like from people that met him in person, especially as he got older and got, sicker, heard nothing but positive things. He went to a lot of comedy shows and stuff like that. So I know a lot of comedians that met him out in LA that said nice things about him and stuff. And he took a pay cut to do this movie too. Like he was making, dude, he turned out 40 mil to do Batman and Robin. So he could be in a movie with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. He just wanted to be on a poster with the two of them. I'm like, that's worth it. And it's Heat. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Instant classic.
Yeah. He's in 2 of the top 10 of like certain genre movies. Definitely in like we said, this isn't top 10 of like crime thrillers of all time. And he's in probably conservatively top 3 Westerns of all time in Tombstone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
we got to do Tombstone, bro.
We are doing Tombstone. It's next week, baby, as it is recorded. So, folks, be on the lookout for him.
Brandon. I was.
We gotta let the people be teased. We gotta let them, tease them a little bit. Lick the back of their ear, and be like, "Hey, it's coming soon."
We want to make people be like, "Oh, they doing Tombstone because of this episode." He mentioned it, and they're doing it.
Well, Brandon. You ain't got no power on this podcast. ChatGPT said that you were pretty close in your estimate that if each bunny bag would weigh around 90 pounds. 41 kilograms, based on the total haul, which would be 12.2 million, which would equal up to 269 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're dividing it by 3 crew members. So I think they're missing out the driver because there's 3 armed dudes. But I guess, no, but they would be the ones carrying the bag. So it would be 90 pounds each still.
Yeah.
Fuck. And because Tom Sizemore had 2 guns.
Yeah.
And holy shit, dude. And you're on adrenaline, like
fucking. When I did boot camp, I had the fucking a 12-mile hump with 80 pounds on my back.
Damn.
I have a 100-pound fucking weighted vest that I used to train in.
I gotta get a weighted vest. I feel like that's like the move.
You know, it's not really good for your knees.
Oh, really? Okay,
if you have knee problems, it's not necessarily good for you. I mean, you want to you got to. Well, you can get a weighted vest. You just got to know how heavy you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I would suggest doing like maybe like 15 to 20 pounds.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. You don't need 100 pounds of weight.
Got it.
I was a psychopath.
I want to go back to Macaulay. So I think the thing also that I loved about this movie is that you're basically watching 2 pros at the top of their game sizing each other up constantly in this movie. Yeah. Like when they initially are going into they break and enter like Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer into that one facility and start drilling to get to tap into the security system and stuff. And that one dude just fucking idiot. I'm surprised he didn't get beat up like Alec Baldwin beat up that one surveillance dude that Departed. You know what I mean? Like when he sat and fucking made that noise, Robert De Niro was like, "We gotta go. Yep, we have to leave." Man,
it's like trucks don't make sounds.
Imagine you fuck up an operation like that.
Oh yeah. It's over for you.
Well, he was still around. That cop was still around, so whatever.
I know. She probably got shot and killed.
He might have gotten shot in the shootout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say the Natalie Portman the suicide attempt scene in the hotel room, that fucked me up. That fucks me up because she's in high school and I've always been like, I've said this on the podcast before, I always get disturbed and bothered whenever I see people trying to attempt suicide on screen. And I actually ended up having a few students I worked with when I was in my counseling days who were doing stuff like that. And I'm like, that was tough, man. It's just always tough when you watch a young person try to take their life.
Yeah, man. I you know what? And then, me watching this, I just thought about like, what if that were one of my kids? Like he pulls her out of the bathtub and things like that. Like, that was a hard scene to watch. But unfortunately, that's really real.
Yeah. And I do think that Hannah will make an effort to probably stay in her life. You know what I mean? Despite like, the fact that him and her mom are getting back together, because that's just a toxic relationship at this point. But it's very clear because she's like, she chose you. She chose you to be her like safe space where she did that, and it terrifies me, but she clearly cares about you and loves you. And so that's a wild thing, man. And all while he's dealing with this shit, just like he lost some men and that bank shootout, and like, man, they both had a hell of a day.
Yeah.
I will say when Wayne Girl gets killed, oddly satisfying when Robert De Niro gets to kill him, even though he has to abandon homegirl. If she fucked around and found out, she's like, "Oh, I'll go with you. Like, I want to fucking blow this whole shit up. I'll go with you to fucking your back at stand or wherever you want to get away to." And then she's in that car waiting. I don't know where they were going, but remember she's in the car waiting
at the airport.
Yeah, and they were going to the airport to fly away, but then she sees him leaving. And Al Pacino pursued him and is just like, well, I guess he felt the heat. And that's crazy.
It's also at the same time, is like, is the money in the car with her?
Ooh. Good question.
So, like, she may be good.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, because Val Kilmer got away with his money.
Yeah.
And whatever he had to break off John Boyd's character for hiding him out for, right? Yeah, and then Val Kilmer just got to start a new life. He's got to abandon his wife and his kid and stuff like that. And she's fucked because she thought Hank Azaria was her meal ticket, and he's like, I just want to fuck you because they're Ashley Judd in the '90s. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Ashley Judd, man. She was on a run too, man. She did this, Kiss the Girls, and she did a bunch of like romantic comedies. I think she stopped doing the dark thrillers. Because she did a bunch of those back to back. She did like Kiss the Girls, and then she did another one with Tommy Lee Jones and Samuel Jackson. She did a bunch of those. But I love me some Ashley Judd growing up in the '90s.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't know that that Natalie Portman was born in Israel.
Yeah, man.
I did not know that. No wonder. Yeah. They have some of the most beautiful women in the world in Israel. Yeah. They really do.
She is so fucking talented, man. I think. She's kind of been a mom the past few years, but I think it's like it's forgotten how talented she is. She's really good, and she's really grown from a child actress that was already doing very dark, complex roles to doing the stuff that she's doing now. Like I definitely think she needs to get more accolades for being remotely sane in a very crazy business. Lluvia, our producer, did pull some Letterboxd reviews she thought we should read on the show. First is from Joe A, who wrote, "Told you I'm never going back. A person 2 rows in front of me plugged their ears during the shootout scene, and that's how I knew I was experiencing history on the silver screen. My ears are still ringing, my bones rattling, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Masterpiece. 5 out of 5 stars." Yeah. Jay wrote, Robert De Niro, I too am lonely. I too am a lonely graphic designer who would very much like to be whisked off for all expense paid getaway to New Zealand. 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, New Zealand is where he was going. Got it. Comrade U wrote, "Do you think Chris Nolan knows that he'll never come close to making a movie as good as this? 5 out of 5 stars. That is wrong, sir, but okay. Or ma'am, whoever you are. But,
Wait, are you saying that is wrong as he'll never make a movie as good as this? Or are you saying it's wrong as just like, that's not a nice thing to say?
No, Chris Nolan's made a better movie than this.
Which one?
I think Dark Knight's better than this.
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Folks, call in. Let us know if we should do a debate. Best crime thriller. Is it I don't know. Dark Knight would be in the top 5. I don't know. I'm also biased because Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, but and that's also because you like Batman, but you take Batman out of it and you just make it just like a crime thriller. I mean, well, it'd be weird if you have a movie without Batman and it's the Joker running around. But like, I think that this is a tighter film than The Dark Knight, honestly. And I love Batman, but like I think that this is a different level.
Okay.
The actors are better in this.
Interesting. I, in the words of Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, I disagree.
All right. So you're gonna say that you think that Heath Ledger, and hold on, Heath Ledger and fucking Christian Bale. You're telling me that those performances are topping.
I will say, and to your point, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, both on the same level. Heath Ledger annihilated. Like, he was just in such another plane. Christian Bale is really, really good in The Dark Knight. He's fantastic. But, like, Heath Ledger, like, locked into another part of his brain that ultimately probably destroyed his life. But, like, to play that Joker. Like, that's, like, that was insane, dude. Some of the things he did where I'm like, oh, this nigga's plumb crazy. like on set, they said they were scared of him. I can see that.
You know, honestly, I doubt that. Yeah, I think that niggas just saying shit.
You think if you saw Heath Ledger, dude? I saw a dude look like Heath Ledger Joker on a subway car in July, heat of summer, dressed like the Joker, fucking greasy ass hair and shit. He looked crazy.
But that's based off of Heath Ledger's Joker. That's based off a character.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I saw Christian Bale as Batman. He looked fucking stupid. He looked dopey. He looked dopey as fuck. I saw Tom Hardy as fucking Bane. He looked kind of cool, but like no one I would be afraid of. Yeah. If I saw those people in real life, I'd be like, that guy looks fucking weird. But in Heat, Robert De Niro is that guy. He is the guy who kills the Joker. He is the real life Joker. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. He's the dude. Al Pacino. He's that real life detective that will not fucking stop. Like, I'm going to fucking get you. He's Tommy Lee Jones in fucking The Fugitive. He goes, I didn't kill my wife. He's like, I don't care. I just want to catch you. Like, that's what that is. That's what I'm like. It's just a different level because like while Batman is trying to be grounded in reality, like these are real characters. You know what I'm saying? Like these are people who are actually exist.
Yeah. Lluvia in the chat said Inception. Inception's really good too. But yeah,
I think this is a different level.
Michael Mann and Chris Nolan, they're some of the best filmmakers of all time. Michael Mann's got a crazy rap sheet. Even though his past few films haven't done great, he still gets to work with top talent, and he's got Adam Driver who's going to play young Macaulay in the sequel that they're doing to Heat, I guess next year or something like that. Last Letterboxd review that Lluvia pulled was from Guinevere, who wrote, "This is my favorite rom-com, 5 out of 5 stars." I mean, there is that scene in the diner, dude, when they're both like, they both say the line like, I'm going to do what I have to do. And they're both like, you know what I mean? Robert De Niro does this like, And I was like, oh, man, I love these two. I love these two together. They got great chemistry.
Yeah,
they have great chemistry. We did get some Patriot thoughts.
That's why they both had kids at 90 years old.
Hooah! All right. We did get some Patriot thoughts on Heat. Remember, folks, when you sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/mediapopcorn, you're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews read on that episode. So first we have Courtney Akano, who wrote, "I just recently saw this for the first time, and the only thing I didn't like was that we didn't get to see them pull off one job cleanly. I had a good laugh at myself for previously asking out loud, how come nobody talks about Danny Trejo or Dennis Haysbert in this film? The ending was probably one of the best ever." Quinn Pallone wrote, "Al Pacino plus cocaine. I don't know what the fuck. Great movie." JC Cutts wrote, "One of the best crime action movies of all time and one of the worst films to go to for how to maintain a healthy relationship. If Die Hard is the most influential modern action film, this is probably the number 2. The Dark Knight equals Heat in Gotham. The Town equals Heat in Boston. 999 equals Heat in Atlanta. Den of Thieves equals Heat in Atlanta, posing as LA, etc." That is true. Yeah, Den of Thieves is fucking nuts. Pacino De Niro's diner scene, the opening truck heist, the downtown LA shootout, the airport finale. Any one of these is enough to make you forgive that you're spending 3 hours with guys wearing designer suits, living in architectural digest level houses, and still finding a way to be unhappy. Rest in peace, Val, one of his coolest and most tragic roles, and a subtle MVP of the film. And then Sean the Terrible wrote, "A classic, but she has a great ass." Yeah, but I mean, JC is right. It's a very there's a lot of very tragic endings to these characters.
Yeah.
It's a rough go for folks, but
crime pays, but It can pay. It sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Justin, with your life. You could pay with your life. What?
Justin, break down your rating system. Our rating system.
All right, guys. You know how we do this. I was waiting for you to say baby. I was going to tell you.
You told me not to.
Call me baby. I know. Good. You
told me not to. I'm done.
Nickel. All right, guys. So you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down and watched the 1995 crime drama Heat. And it brought that heat. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Tom Sizemore, fucking John Voight, Val Kilmer. What say you, sir? Ashley Judd, hold on. Yeah. Natalie Portman, a young Natalie Portman. Yeah. What say you, Brandon?
Yeah, this gets an XL. It's a classic. Cinematography is on point. Scores on point. Acting is phenomenal. Even when you think about the who's who of Hollywood had tried to get a role in this movie. You know, Keanu Reeves, Brad Pitt, all these stars, and they ended up with this amazing cast that really allows these characters to breathe. Michael Mann was at the top of his game, directing and writing this thing. Positives all around. Justin?
Yeah, it's an XL. It's an XL. This is like one of the films like, oh, this is like a perfect movie. And you know, the box office made for $60 million. It brought in $187.4 million. It's like everyone saw it, and this has all the acclaim for good reason, really good reason. Were any Oscars won from this film?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's nothing notable, you know, but it's still a legacy film though. It's stands the test of time. All right, folks. Well, that's our episode reviewing Heat. Hope you all enjoyed this. As always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads. Again, patreon.com/Media Popcorn. Support the show. We have $2, $5, $10, $15 tiers. All of it helps support the show. We are a Patreon supported podcast. But if money's tight, you know, leave us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast application, or go to youtube.com/Medium P Podcast. Press that subscribe button so you get alerted about all future reviews and celebrity interviews we have up there. And you can also leave us a voicemail. But it's been a long time since Justin and I got out voicemail. 347-464-8214. Again, that's 347-464-8214. And Justin, I could be a follow you, baby.
Follow me. Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the social media platforms. Guys, we need that love. Give us that love. I need it.
Come and get your love. All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Come and get your
Stay safe out there, y'all.
That's right, baby.
And don't rob banks.
Maybe you need to.
R.I.P. Val Kilmer.
You can get away with it.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get